Alright, here we are at the start of another video about the instrument I'm building with generous grant funding from the Indiana Arts Commission's Individual Advancement Program grant. And at the end of the last video, I think I was just putting some primer on the plywood face of the instrument. Since then, I've drawn with a stencil kind of a repeating pattern, and I've colored some of it in. It may seem like the paint job is mostly done, but actually once these colors are down, I'm almost certain that I'm going to go through and stipple little dots over basically the whole thing to give it some texture. So even though it looks like the paint job has come a long way, I would say that it's only probably about 20% done. So after this, I'm going to fill in some of the rest of the color here, and then see what a little bit of stippling looks like on a section of it to see if I want to go ahead and stipple the whole thing. Alright, here we are steadily painting along. It probably looks like a lot of this is done, but when you see how much instrument there is to be painted, you will realize that this is not a lot. This is only a little bit. But at least the design is pretty much blocked out. And now the really horrendous part is going to come when I go through and dot, or maybe I was thinking little like kind of macaroni shaped, I don't know, not quite a half moon, macaroni shaped things pretty much all over it. So while the paint job looks like it's very complete, I would say that we're probably 10% done painting. Here's an update, two things. One, where we are with the paint job. I've done all of basically the base coat, which is going to be the undercoating, and now I've done the first layer of stippling, doing these little like kind of U shapes on the green, and that's going to happen all over the rest of the instrument. The second thing, and the more exciting thing, is I got a shipment today from Golihur Music, which is a double bass supply company in New Jersey, and they sent these parts that I ordered, and I want to show you what arrived. Alright, so this is really cool. This is going to be the fingerboard. This is Brazilian cherry. They had two kinds, ebony and Brazilian cherry. And the ebony now was much more expensive by several $100s. But I thought it looked cooler to have this one that had the natural wood grain that I think I'll still stain slightly dark and maybe with kind of a reddish varnish. Yeah, I thought the tailpiece looked a little redder too. The tailpiece is also, I think, Brazilian cherry. But anyway, the fact that these have some wood grain, I think, make these a cooler piece. So I thought that those would be nice. Here's the neck for the instrument. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we've got a couple other things here. This is the blank for the nut. That's where the strings run across, closest to something like that. I'm probably going to have someone carve the nut for me, because this involves a lot of really small, specialized files of very specific sizes, and I don't have those, and my attempts to do it myself are usually pretty crude. So I think this might be a job worth asking a luthier to do, to carve the little openings for the nut. Here's another piece that the tailpiece can run over so that it does not rub against the instrument. These are the tuning machines, and these are big honking guys. I guess probably the biggest tuning machines that there are, even bigger than those for a bass guitar. These are probably the biggest tuners you can get. These are pretty cool. And the last thing are double bass strings, which are, for one, outrageously expensive, but luckily they don't break very often, and these particular ones are actually pretty affordable. And these are solo gauge bass strings. Double basses, when someone plays a solo double bass recital, they often put special strings on their instrument that can be tuned a whole step higher, so that I guess it's a little easier for the audience to hear, and the low notes are not quite as low. But anyway, so these can be tuned up higher, and my hope is that either one, these can actually be tuned up a whole step higher than a double bass is ordinarily tuned, or if not, if they still have to be tuned at standard tuning, that these will put a little less tension on the instrument, since this is not a traditional double bass, but something much stranger and slightly more untested that maybe cannot withstand the full tension of these big double bass strings at full tension. So here's all the cool stuff that I've gotten from Golihur Music, and looking forward to starting to put this stuff on the instrument pretty soon.